I'm in a sitter. I said I haven't been doing shit with my bat, so I got to do something with my glove. But it's always like that. It's whenever you can't produce on one side of the ball, how can you produce on the other side of the ball? So you got to stay locked in always and don't give anything away.
What do you make of Tatis's catch, and how much have you learned from your learning center field kind of on the fly and there next year, last year?
He expects the most from me, and I expect the most from him. We hold each other accountable, not with our words, but just by playing with each other. It's got that platinum thing on his glove, so I don't know if that's good or not, but yeah.
Happy Tuesday. Wait, I'm sorry. Happy Wednesday, everybody. Good morning. Welcome to Marty Time TV. I am Marty Caswell. We are brought to you by the all-new Hamul Casino Resort, the Players Place. Let me go ahead and give you guys fair warning. In case you can't tell by me botching my own open, I am overstimulated. I've had too much coffee, highly caffeinated. I haven't gone for a run today, so I'm just a little bit frazzled. But thank goodness for all of you, and for the purpose of this show, I'm bringing in the soothing, the calming Jake Garegnani of local CBS Sports to help me make sense of the Padres, of Jackson Merrill and Tatis making spectacular catches while we wait for the offense to come around. But also, more importantly, I asked a series of dumb questions in the Padres clubhouse a couple of days ago. So I'm going to make Jake listen to my questions, listen to the answers, and tell me, was it in fact a dumb question? Jake, how are you today?
If I'm the soothing, calming presence you're looking for, I don't know what to tell you. That's probably the wrong person, but I'm doing really well. It's a beautiful day and ready to talk some Padres baseball because it's been fun. Last night, Marty, was maybe my favorite game of the entire season, to be honest. I'm a sucker for a 1-0 game, and the way that one played out was so much fun to me. I loved it. Loved it.
Dude, okay.
I'm a sicko. Okay. I know it, but I love it.
You are a sicko. Now, here's the good thing, okay? We've seen instances where the Padres have only scored one run, and they had the most 1-0 wins in baseball, which is good, and it's bad, right? Because it speaks to clutch. It speaks to your pitching staff, which to me remains the biggest strength of this Padres team. But the good thing again for this is that Merrill Kelly is a very good pitcher. They weren't facing a rookie or a chump change or something like that. He's solid. So he was very, very good last night. They found a way to win. And one thing we know, all teams are going to go through offensive slumps. Look at the Dodgers up north, right? Losers were 5 in a row. Players are going to go to slump. But the defense, they found a way to win a game with their defense and their pitching. And that, to me, remains the strength of this team.
I think there are two schools of thought when you look at the 1-0 wins that the Padres have had. You go, hey, this is fantastic. The fact that they're able to win in these clutch moments, the fact that they're going to play a lot of close games if they do indeed make the postseason. And then there's the flip side of that token where you go, you can't live like this forever, and eventually it's going to come back and burn you, right? And so What side do you want to look at? That's your choice. I think you mentioned it. Every team goes through offensive slumps. The Dodgers have not only lost 5 straight, Marty, they've scored 1 run in 4 of those 5 games. Amazing. It happens to every team. It's just we happen to pay the closest attention to our team, of course. I think I like to take it as a positive right now that, hey, you can pull off these 1-0 wins. You can do it when your Jackson Merrills are slumping and your Fernando Tatises are slumping and they're still making plays in the outfield. That's great news. Again, you cannot sustain that for the rest of the season, but to do them now, all right, get those wins now till you're built back up.
Yeah, go ahead and do it right now. Get to the All-Star break. Have a winning homestand. Hopefully you can put some separation between yourself and the Arizona Diamondbacks, who I think they're going to be sellers given all their injuries. Maybe if you're the Padres, you're like, hey, he looked good over here. We'll see what happens. But I think the important thing right now is get healthy. Hopefully, and I know Jackson Merrill said yesterday in pregame, and we'll play some of that a little bit later on, that he does not want to take a break. He does not want the All-Star break. Some guys want that to go ahead and reset. I know Tatis, when he found out he was an All-Star, he mentioned that he had actually booked a hotel. He didn't think he was going. He was looking forward to some R&R and some downtime. And Jackson Merrill, just the way that kid is wired, he does not want a day off because he's like determined that he's going to go ahead and figure this thing out. And then the last thing he wants is to get hot and then have the All-Star break and have to shut it down. So I fully expect if Jackson Merrill gets this thing going, he's going to find a way to get at bats. He might be in a little league game. He might bust in someone's, summer camp or whatnot. But That kid's a grinder. Of all the players who go through slumps, and they all go through them, that's the guy I worry about the least.
Yeah, 100%. And he's just a baseball nut. Anyone that's listened to him talk, anyone that's seen him play, this is what he wants to do with his life. This is what he's doing with his life, and he's damn proud of it. And I know it takes a lot from him to be going through this slump and a lot out of him, Marty. So for him to be able to try and fight through this, look, I know he doesn't want the break, and I promise you that's an honest statement from him. The break will be a good thing for him. Every once in a while, it's nice to reset, and I imagine this will help him. Like you said, he's the last guy I really worry about, and he's in his sophomore year. Let's remember how young this cat is. Like, he's going to go through moments like this. And again, last night you see it. Like, if you can pick it up defensively while you're struggling offensively, you're still helping this club out. So, I worry 0% about Jackson Merrill.
I completely agree. By the way, I'm going to go ahead and play you a little bit of what Jackson Merrill had to say yesterday about his offensive frustrations. Now, the good thing for Jackson, I mean, the night before he struck out 3 times. Yesterday, better at bats. Didn't get the results. But here's Jackson Merrill pregame talking about his struggles.
I mean, obviously they made that catch at the wall with a couple. Does it feel like it's coming?
I mean, yeah. I mean, I've been waiting for it, but I just got to keep playing. You know, I can't stop trying at least to figure it out because, you know, it's not been the same for a while now, but everything comes and goes, so being patient. It's the hardest thing right now is just being patient.
Does it feel like it can be hard to just play when you are going through it a little bit?
When you're in the 2-hole going 0 for 5 3 times in 1 week, you know, it doesn't feel the best for your team, especially if you feel responsible for it. So, just got to keep plugging along. You know, I can't look back and look at those anymore. Got to look at work today and what we can do today in the game.
2-hole to the 5-hole today. Does that change anything for you? Any reaction to that? Is that part of it?
We talk about it. You know, so I don't care. Just put me in there.
How are you feeling physically? You've been on the diet a couple of times this season. Anything lingering from that you feel like?
Yeah, man, it's been a long year, but I'm not gonna sit here and make excuses. So it's nothing about injuries.
A couple weeks ago, you hit your helmet to a guy that robbed you of a home run. It did not look like you did that last night in the 9th inning.
Hell no, bro.
You're over that part of it?
Yeah, bro. I mean, like I said, 0 for 5 3 times in 1 week, and that put me at the 0 for 5 yesterday. So like, not only did I thought I hit it good enough to get out, it got caught too like that. Like, I was in the mood.
You're an extremely confident person. That's part of your game. Same level of confidence right now?
Yeah, I always got confidence when I go up to the plate. But sometimes you just don't feel good. So, you know, regardless how much confidence you got, if you don't feel good, you gotta keep plugging along.
What have you learned about during the stretch about kind of like this is your first prolonged stretch where you haven't hit as well as you did for most of it? What have you learned kind of about yourself and maybe about the way guys have attacked you?
I mean, I'm missing pitches. That's the bottom line. I'm missing pitches to hit. The pitches that I usually crush that are in the zone, I'm not hitting them. I'm hitting foul balls, or I'm whiffing. So the bottom line is just missing those pitches that are in the zone. Yeah, I'm chasing the ball, but like I'm missing the pitches I can't hit before I swing at the pitches I can't hit. So.
Okay, so that's Jackson Merrill talking about missing pitches and the frustration. What did you make of that, Jake?
I think he's brutally honest, which kind of surprises me, you know, and he's always been honest. That's nothing surprising in that aspect of it. But like, he's calling out the problem. I think we all have seen him play with missing pitches. Yeah. But then he admits, look, I'm not feeling good going to the plate. I'm not feeling good. I'm confident, but I'm not feeling good, which I found that to be interesting. Is that a health thing? Is that a mentally not feeling good going to the plate? It's interesting to me that he brought up he's still very confident, but he's not feeling good at the plate. And so I immediately think, hey, physically or mentally, are you not feeling good? And my guess is it's more mentally, because anytime you're going through a slump like this, it'll challenge every part of you. And look, I've never played Major League Baseball, but I can only imagine when you break out of the gates with that kind of success like he had, and then you go through that slump, that's got to tax your mentals big time.
And then there was an adjustment level too in year 2. I mean, he set baseball on fire last year. I think the pitchers, there's a book out in Jackson Merrill now, and there's an adjustment level, but this is the one kid, he's going to figure it out. All the players go through the slumps. I know Xander Bogaerts spoke about that yesterday about sometimes when you are a young player, you can you can listen to too many voices in your head, not in your head. You can have too many people telling you this is what you should be doing. This is what you should be doing. Just go ahead and tune out the noise. If anyone can figure it out, it's going to be Jackson Merrill. The at-bats were better yesterday. And the important thing, man, which he knows, which he talked about in Tatis as well, is they found a way to go ahead and win with their defense. That's encouraging. I also like that Mike Schultz. We know Mike Schultz been a stickler for the lineup. He's made some adjustments for this year. He moved Tatis at the leadoff role to clean up. He's moved Rise around. And yesterday he took Jackson Merrill and dropped him down to 5th. So I think that was a good thing for Jackson Merrill.
Yeah, and it's something you and I have chatted about before where, look, Mike is going to stick with it for a long time until he feels he has to make that move. It clearly got to a point, and anyone watching Padres baseball in the month of June saw that it got to that point where you just needed to make the move. We had to shake things up, had to change things up, and this is a team that's still, 49-42 right there in the mix, and I want to say he didn't wait too long, and are we seeing the benefits of shaking that lineup up? Some nights maybe, some nights not so much. I don't know.
Right.
But at least he's making some changes. He's seeing the writing on the wall as well, which I think any fan would like their manager to do.
I just think there's extra pressure, though, when you're batting second in the lineup. So I think it's a good thing for Merrill to be moved back down. So we'll see what happens. We'll see what the lineup looks like tonight. But it's a good thing. All right. It is July 9th. And Jake, you've been gracious enough to go ahead and join me a number of times on this show. And hopefully you will continue to do it despite my rash of dumb questions I ask members of the media and also the Padres players. So I'm going to keep track of what you say right now, even with the offensive struggles. And they've struggled for a couple of months. This isn't just a 1 week stretch. This has been over a month. Based on what you know about this team, is this a playoff team?
Yes.
Why?
I think they're doing what they need to do right now while they're struggling and still able to stay afloat and winning baseball games. And to me, you could go back and check what we have done when I was on at the beginning of June, Marty. And I said, look, just stay afloat in June. Make sure you're still winning a decent amount of baseball games to stay in the race, get to that all-star break, get healthy, and get your guys back. And this team has a playoff caliber roster. And then I think I probably also mentioned this is not the complete roster. AJ will go out. He'll get a bat or two and probably an arm. At least he's going to try his off to do so. And I think once he adds a little depth to this roster and there's a little bit of health, I think this team is a playoff caliber team. I thought they were a playoff caliber team at the beginning of the year. And so I think a lot of people wanted to worry in June, but to me, it was no surprise. I thought June was going to be a hell of a struggle. It was pretty much a hell of a struggle, and yet they're still 49-42. So, yeah, I think it's a playoff team.
Okay, it was their first losing month. You're absolutely right. I thought they were a playoff team to start the season. That's when they had a healthy Michael King, and you thought that you were going to get Yu Darvish back in May. Now, here's the good news. A week ago, my answer is no. They're an absolute disaster. They have Martin Maldonado, Elias Diaz. Yesterday, I would have said no. I spent some time talking with AJ Caswell about the Padres having the bases loaded. They had Jose Iglesias at bat, and then the PA announcer says in the on deck circle, Trenton Brooks. I'm like, oh my gosh, this team is dead. They're done. It's over. But the reason why I'm like, you know what? I actually think they are a playoff team. You can look at the struggles of the other teams in the National League, and we mentioned the Dodgers too. But what's the strength of the Padres? It's the pitching and the defense. It's the excellent bullpen. I will be getting to the 4 Horsemen conversation shortly. That's the reason why I brought you on today's show. But Yu Darvish is back, and to me, that is massive, massive. Think about who your 2 biggest pitchers were last year in the postseason: Yu Darvish and Michael King. Darvish is back, right? So finally, he's back. But the good news for Michael King, all right, his nerve is fired back up. He threw from 90 feet. What day is it today? He threw from 90 feet on Monday. I saw him yesterday, and he said he threw 15 pitches from 120 feet off the mound. Felt really good. He is throwing a bullpen this Thursday,
and I think
he is amped and he's feeling it.
And I think, Marty, whether Michael comes back and he's a huge part of this team or this continues, because, yeah, I'm glad he's feeling it, but you're just not guaranteed anything. As I said, when all this first came out, I was worried because it was like, hey, he'll be back in a week, and now look at us. So let's say Michael doesn't come back, or at least when he comes back, he's very limited. I still think this is a playoff team, even if Michael is limited or doesn't come back right away. I still think they have the ability to win, and they are going to make the pieces necessary to get to the postseason. I really have that much confidence in what they're doing. And it's just amazing to me the way they've been able to piece it together to get to this point with guys you've literally never heard of coming up in pitching well. And then the Kyle Harts of the world throwing 3 2/3 perfect innings. Like, they just find weird ways to win ball games. And then all of a sudden, if you get healthy, like, look out, seriously.
I don't know if you can rely on that, though. I mean, I know they've done it with patchwork, the Weinbergers, the Kyle Harts, David Morgans, and by the way, Randy Vasquez, and even Stephen Kolek, who's been sent back down. But I don't know that you can rely on that to carry you, especially if your offense doesn't pick it up. If your offense picks it up, if they figure something out, Tatis can get something going, we'll see. But that's a mystery. I don't know that you can guarantee that. We waited for the Padres offense to figure it out 2 years ago, and then it was too late. They didn't until it didn't matter. So I hope so. But if Michael King is not right, I will change my answer. But I am saying yes, because I actually think that Michael King is going to pitch. And a couple weeks ago, I didn't. I thought there was a chance that he was done as a Padre.
I also think one thing people may be forgetting, and I'm not saying this will happen, but I believe it's going to be happening. I know people call me Mr. Positive, but like
You
Dylan
are Mr. Positive. That's why you're here.
Yeah, but like Dylan Cease has still not put it together this season. And like the second he starts to click, it's almost like getting another great arm back in your rotation. So I think there's the thought there. If Dylan clicks and Michael comes back and I thought he looked really good. I know there was obviously some rust there, but he looks like he'll be fine to me.
Yeah.
That's a dangerous team. I don't know. I feel pretty good about it. I know Mr. Positive, yada, yada, yada. Everyone wants to, but I'm negative when I need to be. That's the thing, is like, I'm not always positive. I've been hard on this team many a times. I just feel like this is a good roster this year when they're going to add the right pieces to it.
I hope they add the right pieces to it. I hope they're right. That's a conversation for another day. And I spoke about this yesterday with AJ Caswell, but they cannot waste this. This is like the end of a window, I think, for some of the players on this team. All right. The Manny Machado is having a very fine season. I don't worry about him, but this could be it. The last year that you have Michael King and Dylan Cease and Luis Suarez. So I hope they make this a special season, but we shall see.
Well, and to that point real quick, because of what you just said is the reason I think AJ Preller does everything he can at the deadline to make sure this team goes and has a chance come October.
How excited are you for the draft? How much coverage will CBS be doing of a breakdown of the Padres draft come Sunday?
I mean, yeah, we'll show who their picks are and stuff. I get fired up. I think of the years where the Robert Hassels were picked and the Mackenzie Gores. I remember covering those.
I remember Mackenzie Gore. Yeah.
I'm
at a point now. I'm like, you know what? I'm not going to bother anymore because AJ is going to trade you in 2 years anyway. So it really doesn't matter. He's going to, and we'll never see you again.
I know. I didn't realize I would work in TV long enough to see like big league players not only get drafted, then break through with the club and then get traded. I'm like,
and then they're in the All-Star game. So like last year with like CJ Abrams, this year it's James Wood in the home run derby, who by the way is Jackson Merrill's pick to win the home run derby. That kid's in the home run derby. James Wood and Mackenzie Gore's in the All-Star game. So yeah, you've been in this business long enough. So listen, 3 years from now, you'll be on someone's podcast talking about the Padres draft number 1 from this season in the All-Star game for a different team, because that's what it is, right?
Yeah. After they traded for the biggest name in baseball, right after they gave him up for the biggest name in baseball to make another run, I'll take it. I'll take exciting and trading and all that stuff over what we had any day of the week.
I would completely agree with you. Okay. The last all right, so let me go ahead and set up what you're going to hear right now. All right. So the game on Sunday, the Kyle Hart game, when David Morgan was the opener, and then Kyle Hart had the 3 2/3, and he was fantastic. And then he was sent down for his efforts, and the Padres bullpen was nails. This is what Mike Shildt had to go ahead and say. Mike Shildt said about his pitching staff.
It did fall into the category of availability for the four horsemen in the back, and it also fell into that, hey man, this guy's done his job.
Mike Shildt. Okay, so that was the Four Horsemen in the back, the Four Horsemen that he referred, and that's a picture of Adrian Morahone, Jeremiah Estrada, Jason Adam, and then Robert Suarez. So I'm sorry, I'm very, very sorry, Jake. This sent me down a complete rabbit hole, and maybe you'll understand how my mind works. I referred to you guys as the Four Horsemen. Can you name any of the Four Horsemen?
The of the real Four Horsemen? Nah, I got nothing.
Not one.
Not one. John. Yeah.
Let's go with conquest, war, famine, and death. Which one of those do you identify with?
Ooh, golly. Conquest, war, famine, and death. I'll take famine. Yeah, I'll take famine. Yeah, it's a slow death.
Four Horsemen? Like real life Four Horsemen, or
I think of you.
or of us?
No, I mean the Four Horsemen. That'll be you, Suarez, Morahone, and Jason Adam.
No, I mean, no. Is that like a?
It's a real thing. Conquest, war, famine, and death.
Oh, so who? One of us are those?
Yeah. Which one do you identify with?
What were they again?
Conquest, war, famine, and death.
Which one's death? Like, is that the guy who kills everybody?
Yeah, I guess so.
I'll take that one.
Oh my goodness.
Yesterday, Mike Schultz referred to the bullpen guys as the Four Horsemen. Can you name any of the Four Horsemen?
Wait, what? of our Four Horsemen?
Yeah.
Like the Padres Four Horsemen?
Right. He's talking about Suarez, Estrada,
Yeah.
Morahone, and Jason Adam.
Yeah.
Can you name? I'm not.
Are there like real horsemen? No. I didn't even know what you were talking about. Now you're gonna make me look like the idiot. No clue. The apocalypse?
She did say it was a dumb question.
No, I did. It's like
Yeah, but
famine, death, confusion. No.
I'm confused right now. What's the fourth one?
I don't know. I have it on my phone. I won't get it.
Yeah, no, I got no clue. Hey, you made me sweaty answering that question because I have no clue how to answer that.
You said something interesting in post-game yesterday. That's why I need to go.
You want to capture it?
You said something good in post-game yesterday. It was
Wow.
interesting. It caught my ear.
Okay.
You mentioned, how good your bullpen is. Before you had a bullpen, and you referred them as the Four Horsemen. Can you name the Four Horsemen?
I cannot. Secretariat. Let's see. Seabiscuit. Man of War. Is that what we're talking about?
I was
Four
thinking
Horsemen.
of the Apocalypse.
Let me get back to you on that.
I know you made the case earlier for all four of your bullpen arms to be.
Are you going to ask me about the Four Horsemen?
I am.
Okay. They were on display tonight. I still can't name them, but they're Estrada, Morahone, Adam, and Suarez.
No, but. Okay, should I be ashamed? I mean,
No, this may be the greatest single piece of journalism I've ever seen. I love the way your beautiful brain works. That might be the greatest piece of journalism I have ever witnessed right there. That is fun, right?
was that good?
That's great.
I just listened. I sit through all these pressers. He said Four Horsemen.
Look, you know this.
It's stuck in my head.
We've all sat through enough press conferences and interviews and heard the same thing
Yes.
over and over and over
Yes.
and over and over again. So the one time you hear something a little different, it goes ding. And then I love the fact that you run with. Not a lot of people would run with it. That's the beauty of you, right? Like not a lot of people would run with that. And so good for you. That's quality journalism.
Feel free to go ahead and refer in your next professional broadcast for CBS. Feel free to go ahead and refer to them as the Padres Four Horsemen. As a matter of fact, that should be a T-shirt. Let's go.
I tell you what, Marty, I'm going to do it the next time he goes to the four of them and they get a win. I will literally say on CBS 8, the Four Horsemen, shut it down, and then I'll clip it and post it for you.
And two of them are in the All-Star game. Think that two of them are in the All-Star game, and I know. And then actually, after I brought the Robert Suarez conversation with Mike Schill, he did say like he and Joe Musgrove having a conversation like how is Suarez not an All-Star? This is before he was selected. He's like he leads baseball in saves. How is he not an All-Star? And then he was selected yesterday to his second consecutive All-Star appearance. So.
Right, with Chris Sale having to drop out. So let me ask you this. Let me flip the question on you, since I too am a journalist.
Oh boy.
Which of the Four Horsemen do you identify with? Now that you've done all the research, you have to have an answer.
Conquest. Now, Michael King and Dylan Cease, they had they furthered the conversation off camera. And Dylan Cease, I thought he would understand this, but he didn't. And King said that Morhone is famine because no one touches this guy. So he is famine. I think Suarez is conquest because he preserves the win. That's the final piece. I couldn't tell you. Jason Adam, by the way, the nicest guy. Good for him on the All-Star game.
Yeah, I'm stoked for him. His first All-Star appearance, which is awesome and as deserving as it gets. Yeah. And he is just he's one of the cool ones. I mean, the Padres, it's fun. We've covered a lot of teams where they don't have a ton of personality. This team's got a lot of personality and a lot of fun dudes on it.
They do. They really, really do. All right, Jake, when does CBS have the very next Padres game?
We have 10 days from now, July 19th, the Nationals game on the road is CBS, and then there's one shortly after that. But the next one immediately is July 19th. So looking forward to it. It's been so much fun, Marty, to have these games on our air. And I know it's a limited bunch, just 10 of them, but to be able to cover them from a different capacity and have a little bit different access and you know, we've literally gotten emails, people thanking us that, you know, some people just don't have the capability to pay for all these streaming services and stuff. And to just to be able to have a day where they get to watch Padres baseball for free. It's been really fun. So I've enjoyed it incredibly. And I really hope it branches into something even a little bit bigger.
I hope so. That's fantastic. And good on you. You do great work over there at CBS. July 19th. Are you going to be in Washington for that series?
We're not going to that one. Okay. I think just given the, you know, where the Nationals are and the distance of the trip.
No, I know. And there's going to be, I know. I wasn't sure. Okay. That's cool. That's good. Well, Padres fans will get to see, you know, Gore, Wood, Abrams again. We're going to revisit the Juan Soto trade because I can't let things go. So that's how I roll. Also, and by the way, by that time, I mean, it's a busy time in sports because training camps are underway. So the next time that you and I talk, maybe we'll talk next week. We'll see. But like right now, man, this time of year, All-Star break, that to me signifies you change the sports calendar because that's when you figure out who these teams are, and then you have training camps going on, and it's just it's a fun time to be a sports fan.
I get through the All-Star break from a TV perspective, got to get through it because there's nothing going on that week from content, and then once you're through it, it's the best because then it all picks up, man. We get into our NFL post-game shows, and we get into to some real serious baseball, and I hope you took notes, Marty, what I said, playoff team. Give me that second half. You can clip this.
July 9th, playoff team. Got it. I am agreeing playoff team. By next week, there's no doubt I will change my mind. I might change my mind by tomorrow, depending on what Dylan Cease does tonight, and if the Padres can score more than one run. So we shall see. Jake, you are such a pleasure, man. Thank you again for your time. I really appreciate it.
I always appreciate you, Marty, and keep up the Four Horsemen journalistic mindset because you're the best at that. So much love and appreciate it.
All right. Thanks, Jake. That was great. All right. That was Jake Garegnani of your local CBS, brought to you by Hamul Casino Resort, the all-new Hamul Casino Resort, the Players Place. That was a lot of fun. I asked a lot of silly questions. I hope that was a little bit of fun talking about the Four Horsemen. Again, I blame or credit Mike Schilt because he came up with that in postgame. I took it and I ran. All right, guys, have a wonderful day. We will talk to you tomorrow. Bye.
I think you mentioned it's hella hard. You know, trying to get two over the weekend or even for a week now. I mean, it kind of makes you realize how hard it is and how hard this game is. And to get one hit in the big leagues, it's very extremely hard. And let alone you look up there and you got 2,000 of them. I mean, that right there, you kind of just, you know, kind of notice how special it is and, you know, how special this game is. So, yeah, man, it's pretty cool.